Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. It's Wednesday, so it's my bad joke day. This elderly man walks into a confessional in church and sits down. The priest pulls the curtain out, but there's a really long silence. So finally, the priest moves to move along. Can I help you, my son? He says, I want you to listen what I'm going to tell you. Okay. First, you should know I'm 87 years old. Oh, 87. Has it been a good life? Well, ups and downs like everybody else, but until 11 months ago. What happened 11 months ago? Oh, my wife Shirley, may she rest in peace, she passes away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How long were you married? We were married 63 wonderful years. I was so lonely. I didn't know what I would do, how I would live my life. But then there's this woman who lives in my building, maybe 32 years old. She comes over, she brings me a bowl of chicken soup. But what a Christian act that was of hers. Well, we talked like that, but then I wanted to say thank you. So at last I took her out to dinner to a nice place in the neighborhood. And we came back to our building. She said, well, listen, I just made a fresh cake. Would you like to come up to her apartment? So to make a long story short, I did. I went up to her apartment. We ended up making love 7 times. 7 times? Yes. Can I ask you a question? Anything. What? Are you Catholic? No, I'm not Catholic. Well, then why are you telling me? I'm telling everybody. Anyhow, we're always bringing things back to ethics. How do we work with our behavior and how we appear to people, speak to people, treat people? And there's a price that we pay for becoming more conscious. We can no longer pretend we don't know any better. And you realize by looking at your own life, you can't get away with anything. You can't get away with nothing. And sometimes we may cringe when we look at our past. We'll wince and shudder with guilt and maybe sadness at what we've done. But we're not off the hook. But we are on the road to purgatory. Our impurities seem grosser, but they're not really. They're actually less. We're just seeing them with a clearer eye. So it's painful to be sure. But then we realize we're in a new path. We are no longer capable of hurting people in the way that we might have in the past. So our life changes to learning how to let in the good feeling states. So we train ourselves, at least I've learned to train myself, and I suggest you do the same, that wherever I'm looking with my vision, I'm looking to learn how to feel good. Now, I know that sounds like it's very, very self-centered and selfish, but positive psychology teaches us something. And first of all, I always admit, yes, I took a divine inebriant. I took the flesh of the gods, entheogens, as they say, and I had the love revelation pill. And the old psychology may have wanted to discredit psychedelic insight, but look at the old psychology books. They had very few chapters on fun, pleasure, leisure living. It was much more like psychopathology and not the real positive aspect. And positive psychology didn't come into vogue until a few years ago. So what we know from science is that worry increases your cortisol, your stress levels. And if you practice yoga, you're not just going to be planting trees whose fruit you will never eat. You have a happy hour for your brain chemicals every day. And it teaches you a certain freedom you have. You are free to be whoever you choose. And practice is going to help you. So what I like to tell people is just one glimpse of this is going to make your life meaningful and worthwhile. And then you'll bear witness so all may believe. You learn things like doing things on the spot, not putting it off and planning. Like I say, the vitality of a vital person vitalizes. You bring a certain kind of oomph or enthusiasm to everything you're doing. And you realize you don't have to become somebody. It's not like you're born and you're a nobody. Everybody's born rich. And I don't mean that they have a silver spoon in their mouth, but they have innate treasures, innate talents, innate uniqueness. Everybody has a gift to give to the world. And sometimes we hold it back because of the thoughts we have about ourselves, I guess what you could call shameful thoughts that we don't want other people to know about ourselves. And that's why I always say get into a group, a therapy group, learn to bare your soul in front of other people. It's a tremendous freeing of blocked energy and potential. And then spend time in silence. Remember, the spirit doesn't speak in English or in words. And it's your own receptive devotion that's going to enable you to hear the next message, which constantly comes from within. But all the texts are unanimous about this. Forget the fact that we can discount some of what they're saying as not being literal and historical. But the general gist of what they're telling you is you got to give up your power to swing with it. That means minimize your ego. If you want to learn the difference between living in a spiritual plague and living in spiritual Disneyland, that's your imagination. Your imagination is the bridge between this world and the divine world. So I suggest that you find an art form, if it isn't yoga, because remember, for me, I say it's yoga, but for everybody, it's whatever it is that gets you into that moment of harmony with yourself. But you do it where you're free from secular distraction, you're free from peer pressure, you're free from accidental interruption, you divest yourself of your armor and your shield, and you work on that part of yourself, which is the sanest, the funniest, the wisest, the most compassionate one you got. Because your direct experience in practice teaches you. What you learn on the mat is what you're going to learn in the world outside. You have a direct experience, and your life is direct experience. So remember my little one-liner, and I hope it serves you in good stead as you work on your own 7 factors of enlightenment. Investigate, put energy in what you do, be rapt with your attention in the here and now, be tranquil, be equanimous, and focus. And then you'll develop what they call mindfulness, which brings all those factors of enlightenment together and balances them. And then you'll realize, as all of us have who do this, do yoga a little, change a little. Do yoga a lot, change a lot. It's up to you. See you in a few minutes. There's still time to sign up for the Good Vibrations class, 11 to 1 on the possible human. Go to GabrielHalpern.com and sign up. If not, 2 weeks we'll be back again. And always love to hear what you have to say about what I'm putting out.